What is up, everyone? Welcome to Mechs on Deck. It is Tuesday, October 27th. It's almost the end of October, man.
It's weeks or months, and months are they go by. Yeah, what's that? What's the famous quote? It's like things don't seem to change day to day, but then everything's different suddenly. Where did it go, one drunk man?
Dude, it's crazy because like with, obviously COVID this year, just kind of like going in and just like putting the hammer down on 2020. It feels like this year went by faster than it normally would.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's because I've been home for most of it, but
Well, when you're like asking yourself, what day is it?
yeah, right.
Like,
The only
honest,
thing that keeps your schedule is the show.
Mechs on Deck. Yeah, I was like, even my wife was like, yeah, like honestly, without Mechs on Deck, I would have no idea what day it is. So we only stream 3 times a week. Like, so it's like it's either stream day or it's the day after stream day or the day before stream day or whatever. So yeah, it's been crazy. But how's everyone doing? Ryukuchi, thanks for the 1 month sub for 4 months. Hell yeah, bro.
Appreciate it. Got one above all. Keep new biohazard chat. One drunk man. Where did it go? Don't know. Don't know where it went. Brez as always. Kinnick. Kajada. I don't know if that's how you exactly say the name, but I like to say it like that.
It's been 55 Mechs on decks since I've left the house. I love that. No, we got it's an interesting, not even interesting. We got an exciting time right now. In the next like 21 days, 3 boards that could all very well be in the top 4 of next year's Mechs or Mech Madness are all coming out in the next 21 days. So we've got we'll kind of touch on this. We've got the Bauer tomorrow. Good luck. If you don't get it, take your L's with some dignity. But there's a lot. Good luck, everybody. Honestly, I do. I hope everyone who gets one. But unfortunately, there's just not enough Bowers to go around. We got the SAT 75 on Saturday. Saturday, there it is. And then on the 14th of next month, the Iron 180, which are all just going to be fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic.
It's a cool time for boards. It's funny because last year the Bauer and the Iron ran like right around the same time.
Yep.
As well. Also, Noe KB, thank you for the 100 bits, and you are correct. Time flies when you're having fun.
When you're having fun? Don't put a question mark. Ron Burgundy always reads it.
But no, there's a lot of cool stuff happening, and like Chewy said, Bauer tomorrow. Definitely, if you are looking out for that, you're gonna want to stay glued to that. I believe you have to do it in the Discord, so you're gonna want to make sure you have all your options picked out prior. There's not really a whole lot of options, so stay up to date with that. Hopefully, you can get one because I'm pretty excited about it. I unfortunately will not be getting one, but I love my Bauer. I know your wife loves her Bauer.
So. She's all about. It's all artisaned up now too. It looks fucking sick.
Oh yeah, she got all those the like bubble artisans.
Well, yeah, she got the bubble ones, but then she got the sweets ones. So here, this is kind of a mail. We'll jump into mail day, right? So these are the succulent artisans. These came in a while ago, and then she asked me. She was like, "Which ones? Where should I put these?" And we are waiting for a board for hers, for her next one. But I was like, "Just throw them on." She's like, "I don't know if it'll work," and she was like, "Never mind, it worked great. Go away, face."
Dude, those look great. She posted a picture of those the other day, and they just look. Those artisans make you hungry. They look so good.
So yeah, get a Bauer if you can.
It looks good with minimal on it. I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah,
since she threw it on there.
Yeah, we had Tokyo Nights, and we put peaches and cream on there, and she was like, "I don't know if I'm feeling peaches and cream." I was like, "Well, minimal literally goes with everything." So, but yeah, and then I guess we can dive into what's on your desk. So I'll just go first because that's really the only mail that either of us have gotten is those artisans. I've been using my Singa. Um, Holy Pandas space bar is like my favorite sounding space bar. It's just super loud. But honestly, this thing's probably going up on the chopping block soon. Not that I don't like it, but I feel like I've gotten everything I wanted out of it. I really like it. I've got other boards coming in though. So like I said, I do genuinely really like this board, but there are other things that I'm looking forward to. There are other items that I wouldn't mind using some of that money to go towards. And I'm gonna have my squid, which I like 60%, so it's gonna have a second of my favorite board. Who knew? And then Godspeed still coming in. That's gonna fill that role of the 75. It's basically the same layout, so that's gonna fill that role. And I was like, you know what? As much as I love the Singa, it might be time for might be time for it to find a better home
Yeah.
than and I've talked about this before. It's what do you reach for all the time? And I feel like what happens is once I get above 3, I start missing boards more. And when I start realizing that I'm not missing my Singa, I miss my Baka, which right now doesn't have caps on it. And then my Kiko doesn't have caps on it right now. And so it's like Kiko, Baka, Crown. I love those boards so much that I just find myself being like, it's like when I have to force myself to be like, okay, use the Singa this week. Then I'm like, why do I have this? Like I would love to own 100 boards, but I don't have the space, and I feel like I just wouldn't find the love.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like DD Klein says, is Godspeed coming in? I mean, that's one of those things I kind of always feel like once you get something else in, you're like, do I really need this other board that's like kind of almost the same or very similar? Obviously, your Godspeed, I don't believe is polycarbonate, but
No,
um,
but it's the same layout, it's
yeah,
the
same
same
layout.
weight. So, and while I mean, I do enjoy the polycarbonate board, it's not. It was. This was kind of one of the Grail boards, and I feel like my Grail boards. I'm like, I get them, I use them, I experience them, and then I'm good. I'm good. I move on. So, because honestly, the Baka is the only thing that I feel like I would. That's never going to leave my hands. So,
Yeah. Well,
but
and probably the squid is.
yeah, the squid will be well, and I love the squid. I think between my wife and I will always have one. Not that I'm going to just immediately get rid of mine, but between my wife and I will always have one. Um, but the Baka obviously that has a little bit more sentimental value and importance. So, but anyway, what is on your desk? And I know you've got some cooler mail, even though technically I got the mail and I opened it up and I looked at it, but then I dropped it off for you.
You did. You hand delivered it to me this past weekend. Also, Bubblehead Brett, thank you for the Twitch Prime 3 months. Yeah, so I actually changed out my board earlier today. I know Chewy, you typically change after the show. Uh, I typically am like, oh, we got the show today. Let me change it up. So I changed back to a plum iron 165.
Ooh,
It
I didn't know
just
you added that observer, which really just brings it home,
oh
honestly.
yeah, it looks great. This is the kind of like one of one rookie of the year observer, which like kind of fits with nines, but I think it like matches kind of like the aesthetic. Little pop of red, excuse me,
Yeah.
helps. Um, I did have some of my one of my bump ons fell off, so I was like looking around and I had some bump ons left over from some other boards. They didn't quite match, so I ripped all the other ones off and put these
Hmm.
other bump ons on. But
So Smith and Rune, if you're listening, we need some bump ons.
nah, it's these are fine. Um, but no, I mean this thing it feels good, it looks good, it sounds good. Zyko's in here just feel great. I'm looking for a heavier like tact or bigger tactility. I'll go to this board. I've been using linears for the past couple weeks, so it felt nice to kind of get a big change over to a very large tactile. Sometimes you miss it.
Sometimes you need that shelf. So, and I have been using the Zyko mat. which I've
Oh, you
been
have.
it's been cool. I have, but fortunately, it's going to be delayed. We discovered that there's actually a it's like a glaring you don't notice it until you look at it, but there's a glaring issue with the way they align because it's a box and it's got a border, but there was an issue with the way it's aligned on the mat because you're trying to fit a box inside of a rounded or a rectangle inside of a rounded rectangle, and there's some alignment issues, and I'm not going to sell something that's not up to spec. So I would much rather go through another run, make sure everything is good to go before selling it. So sorry if anybody was looking forward to it, but it will just have to wait a little bit longer.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then of course the mail, as Chewy said, this came to him, picked it up. This is actually our build on Saturday. Satisfaction 75 round 2 prototype with. It's the same case as what they've sold on Cannon Keys before. Cutouts for Sat 75. It's also the same case that came with the iron. It's pretty nice. Got the little pouch in the top. And let me get it open it up and show it off to y'all.
Yeah, if you were in one of the Clack Fancy discords, I did kind of like, hey, to like the 10 people that were in there. So you got the little preview, but this one, yeah, the blue looks solid. The blue, whew.
It looks so good. Like the blue looks so good.
Like,
See this the weight. I've always loved the weight of Satisfaction 75.
yeah, looks fantastic. I love that. Those markings
But
makes
yeah,
it very artistic. It's funny because right when you did that, because for those who don't know, I look at Eric through a C920. He streams through his actual camera. Right when he held it up, everything went blue, and it's like in stages
struggling.
trying to go back to what it was. But yeah, it looks fantastic. I know the green one's been built by Mentorly. I think she was the first one to build it. And then I want to say the rose gold one was given to Lightning. I think he built his the other day. Either he's built it or he announced he was going to build it. So we're building it launch day. It'll be a cool uh, little way to be like, hooray, launch.
Yeah, and purple
Purple
or
was done by Apiary.
done by
Sorry.
Apiary. She did hers yesterday. I watched some of that. The purple looks great. The lilac, and dude, this knob, I don't know if you opened it up and looked at it, but this knob,
Yeah, it's sick. I didn't touch it. I opened it up and kind of peeked at it, but I was like, oof. I'm excited to see how that looks with Nautilus on it. I think that's what a lot of people, that's kind of the theme, right? You look at the back of the board, it's got the anchor. I think Nautilus is kind of made for this. We don't have a Nautilus on hand. Um, so but it's just I think that blue is really, really good. It doesn't really match quite much of anything, which is in my opinion good because that makes for a good kind of coming together of multiple different colors of this or multiple different shades.
absolutely. And that it also came with the new these are the lilac linear JWK switches. These will be going in it as well. Uh, yeah, another JWK linear recolor. These do look very nice. I like the lilac color of the stem. Looks really good. But yeah, I'm excited to get this build. I have never built a Satisfaction 75. Neither of us have. So I'm excited
We
to.
haven't even touched one
Yeah,
because
true,
right when they
true.
started delivering, it was
COVID.
when COVID shut down. Well, I guess they delivered, but we didn't have a meetup in like the month and a half that we could have, and then COVID, and no one that we really knew. So it was kind of cool that I had it sent to me because I did want to see it, but I also had it sent to me because I was like, I need to deliver these cinnamon rolls to Eric, and this is a good opportunity to get these cinnamon rolls. But yeah, what are you gonna do to the switches? What are you gonna do to those
Yeah,
switches?
so I'm gonna lube them with some 205 and then film them as well, just to kind of get the max, the full JWK linear experience out of them. Uh, I don't use like the TX or the desk keys films. I still have a metric crap load of the like Kibo thin ones. So I don't it doesn't excuse me. It doesn't do quite as much as what like the desk keys or TX thick films would do. But it still affects the sound a little bit, and yeah. So I'm excited to see how it turns out and how it sounds. So
Yeah, it'd be a cool board. Yeah, not a fan of it. I'm kind of right there with you. I think the lilac linears. It's kind of a strange naming scheme. If I'm being honest, it's like we don't make, oh, these are brown linears, or these
yeah,
are like these are Zelio linears. It's like, no, those are Telio. So it's a little goofy and confusing, but I know they're trying to go with like the color.
yeah, and well, it's also one of those things. It's like the lilac tactiles. I don't know if they're like actually coming back because I haven't seen those in forever. Whereas like the mauves have been redone, and then obviously they have these, and it's a completely like the housing of the lilac tactiles is actually purple as well, whereas this
Yeah.
has the white housing. So it's like if you're doing it, if you're like ordering it online, it's like, or you're looking at them in person, it's like 100% obvious what it is without even having to touch it.
Yeah,
But
at least you're not going to get scammed into accidentally getting,
yeah,
unless you only look at the name, and which I could see some people getting confused. Like if you're just, I guess, what's the warning? Just maybe do your due diligence. They have to take a picture on Mech Market, so make sure that like you're looking at the picture, the proof of picture, and just know. I mean, just know that there are differences between the lilacs if you're looking for a linear versus tactile. Just go and look. But in reality, you should be going and looking anyway. Like you should always look at the picture, because if they say I'm selling 300 and you look at a bag and it only looks like 70, don't get scammed.
very true, very true. Because it does happen, not as much as it used to, but it still does. But yeah, I'm really excited for that build. That'll be happening Saturday at 2 p.m. Central. So a little bit after the board actually launches. Hopefully they'll still be available when I start the stream. Um, I'm not sure. I think there's over 1,000, so that would be insane if they sold out in like 3 hours. But I would not be that surprised considering how popular the board was after it released earlier this year.
Yeah, my hope and my hope is that basically if you want one, you're able to get one. And if you really want one, you're going to be paying attention to when it drops. You're going to be in the Discord looking. You're going to be on the website looking at the time. And that's the goal, right? If the people who are like, I want this so much that I'm going to actually follow follow what's happening, I hope those people get it. Now, do I see it going out pretty quick? Yeah, it'll probably go out quick. I don't think it's going to sell out in a minute, because that would just be, if I mean, I'm not going to eat a sock, but I don't know, I'll do a stream without my glasses on and be miserable. I don't know. I'll do something different. It's also in under a minute. We'll do something dumb. But we do have UPass coming on relatively soon, so maybe we could do something. Dye my hair. Try that. It failed.
Yeah. Chewy's not in the business of bleaching his hair in
Yeah,
order
I'm
to
not.
get dye to
Yeah,
stick.
I can't do that anymore right now. That was because
Yeah.
COVID and the time. Maybe next summer.
Yeah, I feel like if
Uh,
you walked in with like fluorescent green hair, you would
I'd
get some
probably get a lot of
questions.
I'd get some looks, but technically I'm allowed to have whatever color I have as long as it does not distract me from doing my job. But they can't, specifically, I mean, look at me, like, but they can't discriminate against what your physical appearance is as long as you look presentable. Um, and on top of that, because I work with special ed, they're just like, whatever.
It just he has to deal with a whole bunch of random crap. So, yeah.
I've done my fair share of running down. Um, that's nothing against the kids. Some kids just like to go for a jog, and you just have to go run to the door to make sure that their jog doesn't turn, that goes from an indoor to an outdoor jog. You don't want that to happen. You want to keep them as an indoor jogging friend.
Yeah. And
So
Steph Keys, we were talking about the Satisfaction 75. round two, which is happening this weekend, and I'm doing a build of a prototype Saturday at 2 p.m. Central again. So put that on your calendars, boys and girls, because it's gonna be fun.
I'm
It's gonna be a
excited.
good one.
It's going to be. I tune in lightly on Osiris's streams, but this is probably one that I'll probably sit down and watch because I am curious. I honestly have never watched a Satisfaction 75 build. And I'm just honestly, the only thing I didn't look at, which is the one thing I'm curious about, is like I have no fucking clue what the PCB looks like.
Yeah, I haven't like opened it up uh yet either. Excuse me. I did watch some of Apiary's stream yesterday, and so I've seen what it looked like, or at least the one that she got. I would assume the one
Mhm.
I have looks the exact same. But it's gonna be, yeah. I mean, the it's another one of those ones like the Kepler where there were some people who, when they first built them, not with the round two, but with round one of the Satisfaction 75, they had some issues because like the screen and the knob. Um, so I'm gonna do some research, make sure I don't mess anything up. But no, I'm excited because the only other Satisfaction 75 build that I've watched was uh, Ray, the Raging Asian, built one on stream with Zycos, which are very large switches, which, as you knew, you found
The
out
blind
with your key cult.
blind boys with key
Yeah.
cold.
Um,
Fucking hell,
he
dude.
had
What's
a
that?
very hard time with getting those switches into the Satisfaction 75 round one plate, but
Does
they've
he have a
made
YouTube?
adjustments.
Does he have a YouTube? Because now I want to go watch that.
Um, I don't know if he ever uploaded it, but he might have it. I can ask Ray. Uh, yeah, there is a
Yeah.
build guide from UPOS as well. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make sure I do my due diligence
Mhm.
in making sure I don't mess anything up because that would be
And
kind of embarrassing.
and that's funny because I kind of like, Apiary literally, because I know when he sent them all out, I was like, damn, she must have gotten that in the mail and immediately like opened it up, took a picture, and goes, I'm streaming this right now. Which like awesome because part of it's who can get it first, who can open it up, and you know, so like awesome that she was able to do that. Ours was more scheduled because we don't depending on who it goes to and what we're doing, we like to stick to our schedule. But and that please don't take that as a stab at Mentally. I think it's great that she was able to get that out as fast as possible. But I don't like being someone to be like, build this board for the first time. I'm like, fuck. Especially if there's anything different about it. So I'm like, I'd rather let some because like so a lot of people are like, hey, the key cult, like these standoff things, people are having a really hard time with. Well, I watched it and then I played with it and then I was able to nail it the first time because I was like, now I knew going into it what the problems were. Like with the JO1, the Kepler, all those things. It's nice knowing what you're getting yourself into and not discover because and when you're streaming, it's going something's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
If you're doing something new. And then you have the added pressure of like, fuck, now I have to get this to work on stream.
Yep. That's how it goes sometimes. I mean,
It'd be like that. It really do be like that sometimes.
yeah. Hey, I still drink to forget Kepler. It's okay. I still haven't. Clavier macro pad is still sitting in the drawer somewhere, not working. Um, so
That's
hey,
and I know you
sometimes
and
it
I also
happens.
are under the like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll fix this. Like,
Yeah, if it's if it's like something small, like people are like, oh, why don't you reprogram the layout? I'm like, because I don't feel like you need to sit here for 20 minutes while I go into QMK and then like change things around. Because half the
yeah.
time I'm like, you know what? I kind of want it to do this. And then I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, but then also this would be cool to put on this layer. And then like, what if I put this here? And then
And
it's
that's
just
like
like,
30 minutes of
yeah,
you watching look at QMK, which maybe some people want. Who knows? I don't know personally, but for me, I'm like, I'll test the keys, and if I have one going wrong, I'm like, I'm not. If you, I'm going to sit here. I'm probably not going to be paying attention to chat because I'm going to want to focus. And I know it's the Wolfmark something
mhm.
W4X372, and some solder got on one of the traces, so I had to go back and fix that later. But I remember literally sitting on stream being like, I'm not dealing with this right now. Like, you want to hear how it sounds? It doesn't fucking matter if the if the PCB has one switch that's going a little goofy. I'm going to deliver it to the person or to me if it's my board. and it's going to be in working condition. But just because I delivered to someone in working condition doesn't mean I need video evidence of it
Yeah.
showing up in working condition.
I mean, it is cool, like the Keep Noob said, to work through some things like for instance, when I built a TGR 910 a couple
Oh
months
yeah,
ago,
the
and I was like, why is this last row just not working? And it turned out to be that PCB needed to have washers on the stabs, or else it bridged uh, a connection and it wouldn't work.
yeah
It
that
wouldn't have
happened
the last
on
row.
that happened on the TKC 1800 the other
Hmm.
day. It's an old board, and Didi was there, and he was like, "Hey, you should uh, check your screw and stabs." And I looked and I was like, "Well, there it is. There's the one that's touching some metal on metal. Put a washer in there, and boom, fixed." So that's another great thing too. Is if you're watching, don't be afraid to help. If you make a suggestion and it doesn't work, I'm back to exactly where I was or where we were. We're back to right where we
Yeah,
were. Like so, but if you make a suggestion and it works, then you're the hero. So DD Klein was the hero of that build.
it's true. And him failing on the Kepler was the hero of my Kepler build, because I watched it and I was like, okay, well,
This
that's
is what not to
this is
do.
what not to do. And you know what? Hey, it worked out. Shout outs to DD Decline. Check him out at
I
twitch.tv
like
slash DD Decline.
it was fun. Phil, I missed you last week, so welcome back to
I
the
missed
week.
you as well.
But because we had you Saturday, but it was like, this is Clack Fancy. This isn't Mechs on deck. This
Did
is
you
Clack.
have me or did you have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle
That's
Michelangelo?
fair. I saw Michelangelo. I didn't actually see you. But so that was fun, guys. Clack Fancy, another huge success. I had a lot of fun. It was just really cool to see a lot of people. I know the turnout was a little bit less, but of course, we're not. We completely understand this. Also, dude, aloha, ukulele dad. Um, but guys, if you haven't checked out ukulele dad, go follow him for the love of God. He's the best streamer. He's the best
Yeah,
streamer. The best. Fight me.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, but we know, like, yeah, giveaways are going to draw a lot more people. Like that, we're very well aware of that. But it was still fun to see a lot of people. I got to talk to a lot of people that don't get the option to talk to a lot, and then it was nice to be able to talk to Jay. Like we haven't talked to Jay on a stream in a long time.
Yeah, I think the last time was when we did the uh
Round table.
well, no, I think was the roundtable after we did Huey's stream? The question, the
Oh man, I
Jeopardy,
completely. Yeah, it
keyboard
was. So
Jeopardy.
the
That was fun, but that was
Huber
different, right?
that was in March, or
Yeah.
it was the Friday after Mech Madness, because I
Yeah.
remember I was like, "Yep, this is our like we did Mech Madness, and then we had to do another Friday," and I remember being like, "Oh yeah, all right, still going Fridays."
But yeah. We had some great conversations during the Clock Fancy stream with uh Luke Barron and Vox Key from Smith and Room. They talked a lot about design. They talked a lot about boards, uh, and the Iron 180 and the Iron 165. So, as well as the kind of beginner discussion, which turned into a couple other like topics with myself, Chewy, Jay, Thurman Goat, who is awesome to have on, very insightful, and then of course Langlandia. Um, and then we had some games. So check out that VOD. It's here on Twitch and it'll be up on YouTube soon. And we
I would like
can
to. I would like to make a public apology once you're done.
okay. But yeah, so check out that VOD. It's some really good stuff going on that VOD that was happening on during Clack Fancy. All right, what's this
Yep.
apology for?
So, guys, if you haven't figured out, Osiris and I divide up the work. I'm not going to go into detail about what each of us do, but Osiris does a lot more than I fucking do.
I don't know if that's quite true, but sure.
At least when it comes to streaming. So I typically am the one that sets the YouTube videos up, and in the last 2 weeks, I posted a video at midnight. And I even posted, and then I immediately messaged Eric, and I
He
was
just
like,
goes, "Whoops." I was like, "Oh, whatever." Who cares?
Like no one said anything, but if that like woke you up or something, my apologies. I've somehow YouTube will randomly accidentally like re-upload the same video twice. So like two separate occasions I've uploaded the same video. um Once again, that one's on me. I guess I just wasn't looking. A lot of the times the names and the numbers I get mixed up. And then yeah, other than that, I've just been it's work has been fun. It's and by fun I mean it's been busy.
Yeah.
So try getting back. It was, it's like when I was in the swing of like upload the videos at this time and this time and yada yada yada. But my schedule's changed so many times that I can't have like last year. It was like, hey, at 8:45, open up, get everything set up exactly. You have 15 minutes. It doesn't take that long to get everything set up. Now it's like, oh fuck, it's been like a week and a half since I posted that video.
Yeah. It's like one of those things. It's like with doing the keyboard of the week stuff. Like if I don't do it right after stream, I always
Oh, it's
forget. And then
yeah.
it's like the next day and I'm like, oh crap, I haven't changed the picture. So
Which I'm glad you took over because I kept forgetting. I kept forgetting. I was on top of it for like a month, and then I was like, I just keep forgetting.
hey, it's okay. It's okay. We
Anyway,
got there. But today,
topic
what are we talking about, Chewy?
rolling in the deep fake. So Eric sent me this, and I had a good chuckle. So for those who don't know, there have been some keycap sets, some EPB, not EPBT because it's a company, some PBT by Mechs. Never heard of Mechs until the other day. Eric sent me this and he was like, bro, what the fuck is this? So
Yeah.
if you haven't seen this, guys, it's basically literally 100% ripped off keycaps.
Yeah. So we've got a couple different websites to show off. This one is the more, I guess, more readily accessible, like to, I guess, the normies, the non keyboard people. Uh, right? Yeah, cool. I had to change my entire stream deck, so I didn't. All right, so this is on Newegg. So if you just search Mech Zone keycaps and then sort by most expensive, there's a whole bunch of fake PBT laser. There's some Bento. There's some Nautilus. There's some Lime. Um,
Ocean
there's
Dolch,
there's a whole bunch more
Violet on
Bento, Violet on
Cream.
Cream,
What else? In
Ocean
here?
Dolch, which why?
Chalk, which is basically uh, that looks very, very similar to Milkshake.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's rough.
And like the problem that I have with this is that like some of these, like specifically like the Bento one is literally called Mech Zone 112 keys Bento theme keycap set.
I said theme, therefore it's okay. No, fuck off. Fuck off with that shit.
And then like I mean at least with Nautilus they call it the blue yellow keycap set. Which it's like it's cool and all that these keycaps are available, right? It's cool that a high quality custom or somewhat custom colorway keycap set is available to the masses in PBT, right? $89 you get these keycap sets. They don't look awful. They definitely don't look as good um as their GMK counterpart, but I mean,
I don't know if Ducky ripped Nautilus, but I know How. But I mean, Nautilus has been around for a while, and people like blue and yellow. It's you've got the entire country of Sweden, and blue and yellow is good, like the primary colors. So it's some I've seen some sets where I'm like I could definitely see how some people might think that's a ripoff of Nautilus, and then there are some that are like that you just made not. This literally has the same novelty design as a novelty design as Nautilus. It's like okay.
yeah.
Okay, now we're like actually ripping off people's art.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's where it kind of steps over the line. Obviously, uh, this is obviously a Chinese company. I would assume. Uh, this kind of departs from what we've seen recently, right? We've seen things that are maybe equivalent to this, to these offerings from Novel Keys, right? With their PBT sets, they had the PBT Vaporwave, which I would assume is probably the same quality, if not maybe a little bit better, but actually like approved. Whereas this is just kind of ripping off Beep, Zombuman, all these other designers of these sets, kind of, you know, making money off of them. We've talked a lot about IP in the last couple months, and this is kind of similar. I don't know. Obviously, it's kind of a weird situation with like keycaps, but it's like, I mean, this has literal the same submarine art from Nautilus on it. Like, like what?
Yeah, like that's like at the end of the day, if I went and bought a keycap making machine and then made a colorway that matched exactly to someone else and then like sold it, like where I can just be like, oh well, I just like these colors. I didn't know I was ripping up. But like you're taking the novelties.
Yeah,
That's literally art, which means you're now stealing someone's art and posting it and making money off of it too.
yeah,
If now, it's kind of like I can go buy white keycaps and then fucking paint them and paint, and if I did a really good job painting them and like clear coating them or whatever and just making the worst keycaps you could ever imagine and do it, yeah, you can do it absolutely yourself because you're not profiting from it. You might have prevented them from getting a sell, but like honestly, you put in a shit ton of work to go through that. But when you're making money off of it, that's where it's like, okay, now we're starting to get over the line. Because while colorways are very vague, that's actual art.
yeah. And someone in chat, I free refill asked, how are you supposed to support them? Limited run is no longer available. I mean, like Nautilus 2 ran like 2 months ago. I think you could
Mhm.
probably still buy Lime for about like what this is. Like Lime's
Mhm.
not an overly high priced set. Uh,
It's stuck around as extras for a long time.
I mean, Bento literally ran like 2 months ago. I mean, I get it. This has the immediate, I purchase it, I get it then, but like, you're like, this is the same. This is no different to me than someone who's walking around wearing fake Yeezys or fake Jordans or a fake Supreme shirt. Like, you're trying to pose, it's trying to pose as something that it's not. Like, come on.
And what's funny is if you take a picture and be like, yeah, I got GMK Olivia, people would be like, dude, that's not Olivia.
Speaking of, all right,
Yes.
I want to move to the next one because
The
this,
next one, I found my favorite, by the way. I found
you
my
did?
favorite. It was Olivia. It's no longer Olivia anymore. But
All
let's
right.
start with
So this website I found because I saw someone had PBT Olivia and I Googled PBT Olivia just to see what happened. And the first thing I found was this Japanese PBT Olivia. You would think that the Japanese is what caught my eye, but it's not. This website, QWERTYKeys.com, has some of the most interesting descriptions for all of their sets. And I don't know if you can read this here, but it says, lay your hands on this Olivia and the police won't be coming after
oh my god.
you. What are you insinuating? like, like I saw that and I was like, are people like trying to go after Olivia? Like what? Like what? Exactly, Visionaire. Exactly, Monka S. Dude. But yeah, and this is another one. Like this doesn't even look like Olivia. Like these pictures, it doesn't
Oh,
even.
it's bad.
It's bad.
So I'm just gonna read a few of these. Bento says, see Japanese food every day. That's a dream of ours too, since we can't afford it. Be a wizard with Merlin on your side. We tried this and can confirm, however, that the magic does not work with the opposite sex.
Dude. Like you know what? I don't support this. Like all this. Like they've got Red Samurai, Kaiju. They've got sets that aren't even out yet. Persona 5, which is just not monochrome.
That's my favorite name.
Yeah, Persona 5.
just,
Just completely just like
It's just Persona 5. It's not
We know
Metaverse.
it's called Metaverse in GMK, but we're just gonna call it when it is Persona.
It's Persona 5. This set was inspired by the game Persona 5. I never would have imagined. With a name like that. Sometimes we wish people would be inspired by us as well, to be simpletons.
Wait, and you know, uh, G Willard brings up a good point. Beck Merlin is married, and his wife is a very nice lady. So
Amazing. She's
his
super fun
magic, the
to hang out
magic
with.
of Merlin, definitely worked on the
It
opposite
works.
sex for him. So they must be doing something wrong over at Cordy Keys.
This is the most like Skeletor was a villain, but you don't have to be. Then again, you can be naughty and nice. You
Dude,
just threw a, you just threw a Christmas reference into fucking Skeletor.
okay, you want to know what is the most hilarious thing to me out of everything on this? Well, the two things. Okay. One, they copied a PBT, an ePBT set with copying the Japanese PBT. You know how KBD fans has those Japanese ePBT sets with
Mhm.
like the like teal or like light blue and pink sub legends? They copied that. Like they're copying ePBT too. But the best part is that Plum, of all of the sets that are replicating GMK sets, Plum is still the cheapest, coming in at a fat $64.17. You can get
Shots fired.
yourself one of the only sets in the history of the mechanical keyboard hobby to sell for less than retail on the aftermarket
Free.
PBT.
Yeah. God, these
It's not a fruit. It's not food. It's just good.
man, like I'm almost like, is this a joke?
I don't know,
Like
but these descriptions are great. Like props to them.
yeah, I
I,
guess.
and I'm surprised they have Iris. Like that's a really
Yeah,
old
that's a
set.
very obscure Z Frontier set, I believe. I don't think that made its way to an American vendor. I don't think there was really an American vendor at the time that Iris came out.
Yeah.
Um, it's yeah. So let's talk about some deep fakes. All right. So once again, um, oh, yeah, and I free or one free refill or I free refill. Yeah, you shouldn't feel safe. Don't support these people. First and foremost, we do not support these people. You should not, and we would highly recommend and suggest and would dare say, beg you not to fucking shop here for the love of God, because you're ripping off a lot of your. I mean, okay, to be fair, if you wanted to go get white ABS 61 keys keycap set, sure, for $7.90,
Dude,
knock yourself out. Have
all
fun.
I'm saying is I don't know if we've got any other initial D fans here, but I'm an initial D fan. I'd be down for this initial D PBT keycap set for $36.91. And Keep Noob was right. I had it in Singapore dollars. I switched it to USD and everything is way cheaper, but still don't buy it. Also, they have a fake DMG that's like the same colors, but like uses like Game Boy font and it just looks atrocious.
God, anyway, so don't spend your money. If you want to spend your money on something, don't spend it on the things that are obviously blatantly ripping it off. So there's a few things. We talked about ripping off the art because that's fucked up. But the name like Olivia or Bento, those were named sets. I feel like if we were sitting here and we were like, hey, we found this site. It's PBT, rose gold and black and white, or rose gold dark gray and white, or rose gold charcoal and white. And it's like, okay, they're obviously going after Olivia, but are they really doing anything like super duper wrong? They're not doing anything like illegal, but you're not saying the name. There are none of the novelties there. There none of this. Like, you're just selling a keycap. And Olivia does not have the rights. She doesn't have the ability to stop someone legally from selling something like that. but then you throw the name in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing is, right? Like, you're doing it for the search engine optimization, so when someone Googles Olivia keycap set, it's up there, right? Like, this was the first link that I clicked on that I saw when I typed in PBT Olivia, and it was there. Like, that's why you do it, because you're getting in on not just the aesthetic, but the marketability that these designers, these runners have created for these keycap sets. And that's where it's wrong, right? Like Olivia, I mean Mech Merlin, that's his brand. Like,
Name,
which is
brand,
funny
yeah.
because like Merlin is a pretty set, and I think the colors work well, but it's not like it was an overly successful set. It didn't like
It didn't
top the
break
charts.
records. It
Yeah,
just it did solid. I think honestly part of that, I'll throw shade. This is nothing to do. Kono doesn't do the best when it comes to
true.
marketing your sets and getting a lot of hype around it.
But like, why? Like you could this community is growing so much that you could just utilize, like, if your product, like if these PBT sets are actually good and like look good and perform well, like, and have high quality, people will buy them regardless of what color they are. You could just make your own colors. You could just do basic colors to where no one's like upset. But instead, you've got this site that's littered with weird statements in the descriptions and ripoffs of sets that aren't even shipped yet. Like, how do you color match PBT Kaiju when Kaiju has not shipped yet?
Yeah. Well, I think that was old kaiju too, because new kaiju looks nothing like that.
Yeah.
Because there was a different
Yeah, there
kaiju that
was from like
sold.
17, I think.
Yeah, it was strange. Kinnick brings up a really good point, and that's scary to think about. Because yes, preying on the newcomers, and this comes in a really rough time right before the holidays. We do have a holiday gift idea episode coming up soon, but yeah, like what happens if you're a 16-year-old kid and you go, "Mom, I want the keycap set," and it's called Olivia, and you type in Olivia keycap set, and then that person goes and buys that. Just like Osiris said, he Googled, keycap set and Olivia, and that came up. And that's a chance of one, that kid probably being relatively pissed off, and two, you're supporting what you should not be supporting accidentally.
Yeah.
Hopefully, mom reads the description and then like, can
It's
you
one of those
imagine?
situations, hope your parents like you and your parents have like an actual discussion, and maybe they like you send them like a link to it or something. I don't know.
Google Drives work when you make your list and you have links that can pop up. So, yeah, and that Noah KB brings up another great point. Why not, right? If you can sell it, fuck it. Like that's I guarantee you they don't care. Obviously they don't care because they posted this, but people are buying this, and people, they might not be buying it in America, but I'm sure there are a few people in America that were like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
hop on this right now, and I'm sure there are people in, lots of other obviously they ship to a lot of places because you can put the currency in about 30 different currencies. So yeah, there's a very good chance that someone goes, oh, well, I want Olivia, and they go and they're like, well, $70 is a lot cheaper than aftermarket Olivia, which is, your entire Christmas present or whatever holiday present you want.
Hmm.
It's just tough.
Yeah. I mean, and Visionary says, they feel like this very stream might sell some sets, and it might. There might be some people who want to buy something and try it out, but like, I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I thought the descriptions were absolutely hilarious. And people had actually been asking us to talk about it in the last couple of weeks. I've seen it in streams. I've seen it on Reddit. Like, the first time I found the keycaps on Newegg was because someone posted a board. They were like, first build, and they put PBT,
Deep cringe.
PBT bento, and I was like, what? And then I like looked it up and I found it, and I was like, is this real? Like, these actually exist. And then I found all the other ones, and I'm like, this is like actually a problem because we've seen these before, right? And they used to be a lot harder to find. You used to be able to get them on like AliExpress, like they had like the carbon ones, or like they were loosely based. Like they didn't copy the novelties. Like they would just be like, yeah, here's this color, but it wasn't
Mm,
like the actual set. Whereas now they're just like, fuck it, money.
get it. I mean, another thing to answer your point, yeah. Anytime you talk about anything of any company that's doing something shady, yeah, it's publicity at some point. But in my opinion, and Osiris's opinion, a lot of people's opinions I know is spread the word of like this is bad. Like tell people this is bad. This shouldn't be. This should be topics on Reddit. This should be discussions happening in Discord so that as many people know that this is messed up because it is messed up. Um, but I feel like I would be doing a disservice if I knew something was happening and I was like, I have the chance to go and tell a bunch of people that this is happening and I disagree with it. To me, you're doing more of a disservice not keeping a shut mouth, and people don't understand. Now there's no light being shed on it, and now they're kind of silently making the money. Now that it's out in the open, yeah, you might get a couple people that are like, "Oh, fuck it, I'll buy it," but we have a lot of people now that are in chat that can go, "Hey, did you hear about this bullshit website?" And let's talk about, as a community, we should be talking about how stuff like this shouldn't be supported.
Yeah, for sure. And then iRefill asks someone who's new, looking to build their first board, not finding any group buys with styles that you're looking for. What would you recommend? I mean, honestly, if you're looking for something basic, the EPB or the PBT sushi that they copied on that website, they have that in like every color from KBD fans, right? You can get it in white on black, black on white. You can get it in the PBT. You can get like different legends styles. Like something like that is great. And it's like always, it's almost always in stock on KBD fans. Like KBD fans almost always has keycap options that are not very expensive. Novel Keys has done a lot more with their PBT sets, which are also like really inexpensive. Um, or hope for extras and try to join different group buy uh, like vendor newsletters so you know what time extras are dropped so you can be there for when they happen. Um, yeah, because or hope that maybe someone's selling a set on of like something like Plum or like Necro, like these less sought after sets that might be sell for a little bit less. So
Yeah. I think Gently Bean, thank you. Kind of a site that went away because they literally couldn't. But One Up Keyboards, like check them out. Like not sponsored, affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form. But they've got very basic, cheap sets. I'm looking at one right now, and the 60% aluminum case for $45. It's in stock, ready to ship. I know the other day they posted that they were done catching up on back orders. They've got switches. This is actually, if I ever get Zeals, this is the website that I use them from. You get them for the same price. The Zelio switches, you'll get them from the same price, but free shipping in the United States. So if you're in the US, definitely check these guys out. You can get a lot of things. They also, if you're interested in like SA, they've got some SA sets that are usually in stock. They've got some EPBT keycaps. I know the Enjoy PBT, that they've got a lot of the ones that are on KBD fans. So if you want to save some on shipping, those are there. They're not going to cover every single thing in the world, but they're not really meant to. But you've got a lot of options. They've got the kind of obscure max key SA sets. So like honestly, the One Up keyboards, if you're looking in your first board and you're kind of like, I don't want to spend a whole lot of money, but I do want to try out this whole custom keyboard thing, One Up keyboards is a great option.
yeah, yeah, they are. Yeah, there's a lot out there. It just sometimes takes a little bit of research on it. Honestly, if you're really getting into it, KBD fans, now Novel Keys and One Up keyboards kind of are like the spots to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like to get everything. TKC has some in stock PBT sets as well. Like there's a lot of options out there. You just kind of have to look. You kind of have to look for it, and do what you just did. Ask the questions. Um,
Yep.
and then that way you can get something that you're like fine with. Maybe spend, 60, $70 on a keycap set, and then something that you really love comes out in a group buy, then you can get that as well. And then you're not waiting for a year for a keycap set. You've got something to kind of hold you over.
Mhm. Well, that and it's if you're just starting out, Eric and I are very much on the same page of start out with something cheap because you just don't know. You
Mhm.
don't know. Start out with some. If you can get like a hot swap board right now, get a hot swap board. Try some different switches. Try a bunch of things because if you go and you get this super nice board, you're probably. I mean, if you have just fuck you money, then sure, do whatever you want. Like go to Mech Market, grab whatever you want. But if you're someone who's like, I'm kind of wanting to dabble in the hobby, maybe I kind of want to, dip my toes in before diving in feet first, which is kind of what we did, right? We got to the 68s. Those aren't bank breakers. I think we spent a total of $250 on our first boards. Probably actually less than 200 because it comes with the caps, but get something inexpensive that you can try because honestly, before you get into all the other more expensive stuff, try switches because switches is going to be what changes how your boards feel and that your overall experience is going to be, for the most part, off of that. And then sound of boards will come in. But yeah, GM and K's are great. Another one we haven't talked about is the drop boards. Those are always in stock. And they have the RGB. So if you're like, I'm a gamer, I have to have those RGBs for the extra frames. Fuck yeah, go for a drop board. I've used a bunch of them and they're great.
Yeah, and if you like Keep Noob just said, if you want to get down and dirty with it too, you can get something like a Practice 60, Practice 65. Um,
If you want to crash course to
yeah, I
the
mean, if you're someone who likes to tinker and like you're just wanting to get in this hobby, maybe you're already into, you already know how to solder and you already know what you're doing around that. That can be a good time, can be a fun build, and also not be that expensive of an endeavor. Well, you can get something pretty cool. So
absolutely. What does the drop enter?
I think that's their TKL that they did, if I'm
The
correct.
control is TKL. The alt, you got control alt. Alt is the 65%. Full size is the shift. So what is the enter?
And it enters the TKL,
What I'm
the
looking right now, it says
ENTR.
control.
I don't know.
Maybe they're two. Oh, they're two.
Yeah,
Okay. What's the difference? I'm looking.
you got me. I don't know. The enter's like $90, so I would assume that it's probably
Probably
plastic.
cheaper. Yeah. Okay. Well, they have two TK. Okay. No, oh, hot swap. All right. Not hot swap on the enter. So yeah, if you're trying out, Osiris and I prefer soldered. I would assume. I don't want to speak for you, but
Yeah,
like I
you can
know
speak for
you
me
have like
there.
one. But soldered's going to be a better user experience. But when you're starting out, hot swap is fantastic to find what you like.
Absolutely, absolutely, dude. They also still have the DSA Astrolo keys still up, which is like it is a little bit girly on drop, but it's a pretty set. You're into
But is it?
pink,
But is
purple,
it?
and yellow.
But is it PBT girl
It's
from New?
not PBT girl. Astrology keys forever. I know Keep New. I know you have that on one of your boards. I think that was like the first time you posted on Keyboard of the Week was your board with that. I think it was like a Mysterium, if I remember correctly, maybe.
Yeah, I believe so. So, but other than that, yeah, guys, once again, if you see sets like this, also bring them to our attention because we want to let people know like this is fucked up. It's fucked up. It's weird. Um, One thing I will say is, if you see someone have one of these sets, maybe don't go attack them. You don't need to because sometimes some of these people might honestly not know, right? They
Yeah.
might not find ways to educate someone before attacking them because it's not they might not know. They might not. They honestly, they could be, someone who's a lot younger and is just like, I just got this because this is what I like to see. And there are some people like, is it a bad thing logically, morally? Yeah, it's not that great. It's honestly not that great of a thing. But and Retro Maple, we're talking about Cyrus came upon some interesting keycap sets that are ripping off some sets like Olivia and Merlin and Persona. That's my favorite still. Persona
Yeah,
5.
Persona 5, dude.
Um, educate them. Go, hey, by the way, like this set that you got is actually not like doing this, and in this community, and just make it a teachable moment. Because if you just go and attack them, then it's going to push them out of the community, or it's going to make the community look like we're horrible people that are just going to attack you, which we don't want that.
Yeah, bootleg sets. Yeah. Basically, it just goes down to what we always say. Just don't be a dick. Like, it's cool to inform people, but just don't be a dick. You know? It was actually interesting. I was thinking about this the other day before we had Clack Fancy. And then I was watching a binging with Babish video. Uh, that he said something, I'm probably gonna butcher it exactly, but he said, um, like truly loving something is like if you really want to truly love something, understanding the heritage of that and like where it came from gives you a much deeper knowledge. And I think that there's like that's something like can be applied to like this situation of like someone may buy this and have no clue that it was even related to a GMK set. Maybe they just stumble upon it on Newegg and they like the colors and like I want that. You never know the situation. But you want to have people understand kind of like you can fill them in but be nice about it. Fill them in with like, hey, this is the history of that colorway, but this is also why it's kind of like toxic for the community because you know Olivia designed this set and these other people were involved and this ran here and you know it was a great thing for our community. It was one of the you know most historic sets in the community up to this point, and this is kind of just stealing it.
Biak to not yet Biak champs.
I,
Olivia's.
I don't think
We
it
don't know.
can be back to back to back. I don't think the extras, although the extras sold at
Well, I mean,
1,000.
there's still time to release GMK Olivia round 3. I doubt that. I know that's not happening, but yeah, I think just go if you really have to have PBT Persona 5.
Dude,
Look no further than GMK Metaverse, which can be found on switchmod.net/Mechs on deck for 4% off your entire order.
good throw, good tie-in. I'll take the next one. Next up, Dixie Mech. They are running the Bauer 2 tomorrow morning. You can head on over to mechsondeck.dixiemech.com. Pick up GMK Redline running all month long. But yeah, Bauer 2 running tomorrow. Good luck.
Good luck. And don't take it out on Dixie.
Yeah, it's not his fault if you don't get it.
Project Keyboard is mechsondeck.project.link. You go pick up a GMK Noir designed by Apiary, who we're going to have on tomorrow. We're going to talk to her about that tomorrow in more detail, along with Neflock, who he's not joining us, but he did a lot of the novelties for it. So it's a great looking set. So go check out Project Keyboard. And last but not least,
we got Cannon Keys Satisfaction 75 running this weekend. It starts on Saturday, which coincidentally, I will be streaming a build of a Satisfaction 75 round 2 when that is happening. They're also running GMK Red Dragon. They still got some Mauve Linear switches in stock, as well as some different desk mats and V2 of the ANSI, which I was not aware that there was a V2. So I might have to pick one of those up, check it out. And they've got some Lubin over there along with some Switch films. Check that out over there at cannonkeys.com/Mechs on deck.
Yeah. Before we go to our awesome partners, Toto on the Lolo, which name of the day, says, Agreed to a price on some keycaps on Mech Market today. The guy asked for my PayPal. I sent it over. An hour later, he said local buying is willing to meet up with him tomorrow. And now he said he'll send me an invoice if the deal falls through. Is this messed up or am I tripping? Says you sent the guy asked for my PayPal. I sent it over. You sent him just your email. You're fine because you're not losing any money. And that's happened before. It's not, people are going to look for a good offer. In person is going to be a lot safer when it comes to shipping. Maybe not so much with the whole like in person, just overall not being that safe, especially now. But that's pretty standard, I'd say, on Mech Market.
Yeah, it sucks, but it
It's a
is.
toss up. It's a toss up.
Yeah, it's one of those situations. It sucks, but like you have to understand from like the seller's perspective, it's a hell of a lot easier for him to not have to worry about packing and shipping it if he can just sell it to someone local for the same price. Um, Unfortunately, because the way Mech Market works, it's not. It's like kind of on an honor system as well. So it's like you can say something sold when it's not. You can say something is not sold when it is. So like it, yeah, it's not like eBay where like you click that buy it now, then it's like they are contractually obligated to the eBay terms of service to provide you with that product um, once you pay for it. But it's sucks, but you're
It's part of the game.
hopefully
It's
you
part of
get
the
it.
game. It's funny. I don't know if either of us have really been in the Mech Market game in a hot minute outside of just like some sells, but buying stuff on Mech Market is stressful.
Dude, I bought two things on Mech Market. One was the Orange 75, which was local. And then the other thing was I bought together, I bought uh, JTK purple on white and SA Max Key SA purple on white, um, which was way before keycaps were like actually hard to find. So it wasn't
Mhm.
like no one else, like it had been up
Yeah,
for like 2 weeks.
yeah. I have not dabbled in it recently. But yeah, our awesome partners that help us run the stream, Zap Cables, make some of the best cables in the business. He's also got some awesome desk mats on there, so be sure to check him out. Tight Beast, tightbea.st. Go check out his newsletter. He's got amazing newsletters, fantastic read through. Smith and Rune. What's happening with Smith and Rune?
Dude, they got a new keyboard coming out and it looks pretty good. I don't know if you've heard of it, called the Iron 180.
A little bit. I've
Uh,
heard some whispers.
just some whisper. So that's gonna be coming out soon, and you said it was 2 weeks from now, correct? Is when the
November 14th, I believe.
yeah, so a
If
little over 2 weeks from now that'll be running. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Um, they're running it through their own site this time.
I believe so. We'll have more details.
Yeah, so we'll have more details on that soon. But yeah, Iron 180. If you don't know what it is, get the interest check. But it looks very similar to the Iron 165, as you can imagine. Uh, yeah, it looks great. I'm very excited. Chewy, I think you might have some other news about it.
Yeah, so we're actually going to be building a prototype. So a week from Saturday, I will be building a prototype of it. It is kind of a secret, so I'm not going to say too much about it. We are building one. Um, whether or not the PCB is like up and running is yet to be decided. But let's be honest, the PCB is going to ship and it's going to be working when it ships. It doesn't need to. I mean, it's a TKO, right? It's going to work. But I am going to solder. I'm going to go through the process of soldering it so we can get that sound because that is what more people are interested in is the sound. Set made of iron instead of aluminum. Um, so, but yeah, I'm really excited. I can't talk too much more about the details of the board, but November 7th is when that will go. So it'll be actually the Saturday before that goes live.
Yeah.
So
So I'm
also,
pretty excited.
yeah,
It's gonna be
absolutely.
sweet looking.
Mersey side red 9. I cap +1 for caps lock as your function key. Um, you were asking about. He's asking about what do you put it on for your Bower
From what function?
function key?
I put it above the right arrow,
Ah,
like all the way
above
on.
the right. Oh, like okay,
Yeah, all the way on the right side of the board.
yeah. Do you guys have a local version of Mech Market in your country? It's usually Discords that are like tied to the state. So, but with that said, what time is it?
Well, since I don't have Langlandia's,
Sorry, I forgot.
it's all
Lang, if
good.
you're here, my apologies. I just completely forgot.
But it is
But
time.
it's time
Keyboard of the week.
of the week,
Whoops. Now I'm looking at the I got the Iron 165 or Iron 180 interest check. So yeah, here's this. It looks great. Check it out. Also, people, put your pictures of your boards in our Discord. I'm gonna open some up that were put in earlier today. Scott W shared this. Look pretty good. Olivia plus looking hot on this Alice style board. He's got some extra high keys.
All the extra high keys. So yeah, guys, use that link in Discord. Go into keyboard pictures, post a picture of it, post what the board is, because I'm gonna totally not call them out, but the board that was just posted, I have no idea what it is. So please post a name of the board as well, just so we know the proper shout out. But what do you get if you win Keyboard of the Week?
Yeah, so if you win Keyboard of the Week, you get your picture of your board as the banner on our Discord channel. If given your permission, we will post said picture onto our Instagram. And then you also get a fun roll that is pink in our Discord called Keyboarder of the Week. It puts you right under our mods, which is like
It's up there.
literally the highest. So it's like Chewy, myself, mods, then Keyboarder of the Week. So pretty high up there. Everyone gets to see you whenever you're online, of course. So yeah, pretty cool thing. And then at the end of the year, we're gonna have like a March Madness style tournament between all of the winners throughout the entire year so far, and those winners will end up getting a prize that is to be determined. I still think we are working on figuring out, deciding exactly what we want to do for that. But
it's been a busy week coordinating these builds. And then last week, Osiris's world got set on fire. So.
dude, I had the computer troubles of a lifetime last week. Very happy to be done with all of that and everything back up and running, working great. So
Hell yeah. So let's start it off because we've got a few boards to go through. So we'll go back to what Scott W posted because he did actually post another picture of that board. So starting off, we got Deeds, his Lily 58 with Frankenstein's, which is lubed and filmed by Langlandia. So the Lily 58. This is a and I forget what cap. I think these are the caps that come with like the OLKB, not the
yeah,
OLKB,
the Preon.
or Preonic. Thank you. It's a cool board, and I love that it's got the knob. It's got everything the Satisfaction 75 has to
it's
offer.
got the knob, the OLED. Looks good. It looks good. It's clean. It's obviously it's a fun one. This is a little bit more time consuming of a build. You got to figure out how to get all the stuff together and working and program it all. But a lot of flexibility there. This looks like it would be a lot of fun to mess around with.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be definitely fun. I feel like what I would want to wind up doing is like just DJing with that knob.
Also, shout outs to Disco Crocodile for the tier 1 for 7 months. Appreciate that, my dude. As well as I think I missed it earlier, Delphin for 400 bits and Nick Clicks for the tier 1. Appreciate those.
Hell yeah. What do we got next?
Next up, we've got Willid. This is his GF's interim Tofu 65 B17 numpad while you wait for GMK pre-press Tofu 96. Kale box silent browns with Avokeys PBT black on white. I mean, this is what we were talking about earlier. Novel Keys made these PBT sets that look really good. They look really clean. They are not very expensive and they work well. Don't buy the bootleg Olivia with sub legends, please. Buy this instead.
For the love of God. So, but yeah, fantastic. I mean, it's a tofu, so it's a solid build. Everything else about this is novel keys. And I like that you're once again you're going through that progression, right? You've got the next stuff is lined up, it's ready for you, and that tofu 96 is good. Next up, the Jin, which is now no longer a proto with Susawardi plus Crystal Navies. Um, so one, this is very loud because you're typing on fucking navies. So I love it. I mean, I'm sorry, Lily 58. This has got twice the knobs and twice the screen size.
Also, like the knobs look way freaking cooler, and so do the screens. So like props to T Zark. Sark.
Yeah, this is sick.
This looks good.
It's
Yeah.
fucking sick.
Also, the
Oh,
freaking Leviathan desk mat looks really good.
yeah. I like the Jin, but I keep seeing like a very distorted Daffy Duck face instead of like an actual like genie, like Jin. I don't know if anybody else sees that, but
Nope.
maybe I'm just crazy.
Nope.
What
I
do we got?
mean,
What do we got next?
next up is the one we kind of teased before. GMK Olivia Plus Plus with Alpaca's MGA Alice clone with a palm plate. Also got a Rama M6C, I'm assuming. Oh, that's the milkshake edition with more Olivia going on. Lots of highs happening. Also got the like alpaca little stuffed animal thing.
Plushy.
This looks great. Yeah, plushie. That's the
Yeah,
right.
very themed. It's definitely a complete setup. It's a cool looking little Alice board. I mean, you and I both enjoy the Alice layout boards. Yeah, I mean it's fantastic. I think this is a very cool set and a very cool board and overall great layout.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Alice style boards are a dream to type. Can't imagine this being any different. Also, Olivia, you said earlier, it's a classic set at this point in the community, and it looks great. That's my favorite Olivia desk mat that they did. So props to you, Scott.
Hell yeah. Next up, an orange 75 and navy Cerakote with H1s. Uh, with is that MT3? That looks like MT3
Yeah, it's MT3
Godspeed.
Gods.
So solid looking board. I love the combination of the navy with the Godspeed feel to it. And it's a very sculpted keycap set for the flattest board you will ever type on.
Yeah. I mean, I think the orange 75 has such a cool look. Like it's just such a like retro vibe style like look. Um yeah, I mean I have one. Mine is in matte white. This obviously Cerakoted. I don't know what color this one was before. I believe I remember talking to the Chosen One about this board when he first got it a couple months ago and saying that he was going to Cerakote it. Um yeah, they definitely their the board sounds very strange, and I remember having that conversation with him because it's very loud for how small it is because there's like no room in it whatsoever. But it's a very cool board. Like it's a very cool and unique board. Um, yeah, this looks great though. This looks fantastic. That navy Cerakote came out awesome.
Yeah. So what do we got next?
Got it. Mauves, 5 grade 0 with Desk Key Films and GMK Striker. Dude, the E8.5 looks awesome. And I've talked to a couple people who have them and have messed around with them, and they're pretty stoked on it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that love. Honestly, not for me. Like I look at it, I'm like, it's. I don't know why I don't like it, but I don't like it. But I know that people love them, and I know that the build quality is fantastic. And so aesthetically, it's not my favorite. But if it's a great build quality, I mean, fuck it. It's a great. I'm glad people are really happy with them.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think this combination looks good. Um, yeah, I mean, striker looks great on a lot of things. It looks great here on the white. So yeah,
Striker looks so good in person.
yeah, dude. Striker is one of those sets. Every time I see it, I was like, I'm just like, why didn't I buy this set? And then think about it more, and I'm like, you know what? This is a set that I'm okay. Much like its brother Hamon,
Yeah.
I'm okay with other people having and me getting to enjoy it from a.
Yeah. Absolutely. Next up, man, it's like this board was made for you. We've got a purple NK65 entry edition MT3 Siswardi. So the purple glow, I love this is Moyu Black switches. Tried to recreate a Game Boy. I love that like everything makes the caps look purple. Like the
Yeah,
LEDs really tie this whole board together.
yeah, it's a very cohesive build. Trying to replicate a Game Boy, and I think you did a great job. Also, OU Blacks, great Switch. I built the Kepler with those. They're a fantastic Switch. I want to get more of them, or some of them, because the ones that I had were not mine. But I would love to build a board with OU Blacks because they do feel and sound really good.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
this looks great. Also, the purple in K65 so far is still my favorite of all the ones they've done. Still my favorite, even including the milkshake edition.
The milkshake edition was cool, but I mean that's not my cup of tea. I don't.
Yeah, a
I
little
was
bit
never
loud.
yeah, I was never a big fan of the keycap set. So it's like, well, obviously, if I'm not a huge fan of the keycap set, I'm probably not going to like the board that's themed after it. But I mean, I thought it was great that they offered that.
Yeah, for sure.
What do we got next?
Next up, this is a very pretty picture. This is a Key 65. Got the brass options. No badge, which looks nice. Gator on black inks. GMK Rudy on one of the best desk mats of 2019. That is the Cannon Keys Great Wave desk mat. Um, that matches surprisingly well. This looks awesome. Also,
Yeah,
this picture.
great picture, great everything about this. Um, yeah, fantastic mat. If you don't have this mat, try and get one next time they come in. Yeah, like overall, what's also funny, it's Key 65 from the top. It could be like one of three or four really high end boards. like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
and it's, I mean, this is no, this that's that. I don't mean that in anything else. This is a fantastic looking. So I love that the whites don't clash too much. And I love that the caps and the board don't have this like super uh off-putting vibe to it because sometimes the white caps on white boards can have a weird look to them. But this picture is amazing. Like I'm gonna save this picture just for my own liking.
Yeah. Like even like the like tannish brown like doesn't exactly match any piece of the ship exactly, but it like kind of sits between the like 3 or 4 colors that are used on the little boats. But yeah, this looks great. Like this is such a cool looking picture and Rudy came out so big.
Yeah, yeah. Rudy's definitely one I'm probably gonna be annoyed that I didn't get on, but I think it came out with December. I think it was December of last year is when it ran.
I think it was earlier than that. I think it was a Kono set, I believe. I may be wrong. I can't remember, but I don't think it was December.
Noted. And then next up, we've got the Dimple with TKC candy bar keycaps with silk yellows. Love the purple theme. Lots of purple tonight. Love the purple theme. I love that you've kind of made it your own with some extra caps on here. So yeah, I mean, this is a cool board. I love that bottom row, that like half HHKB. Like it's like aesthetics, but it's not like you could still use control with your pinky.
And chat updated me. I was wrong on both accounts. It was not Kono, it was Cannon Keys, which I should have known. And now that they say that, I do remember that. And you were right, it was December. For whatever reason, I thought it was in October, but
The only reason I know it was the only reason I know it was in October is because Cafe. I do remember it
yeah,
running on Cannon Keys, and I remember it getting destroyed by some set, and I was like, I'm fairly certain it was just one of the sets that got destroyed by Olivia.
yeah, absolutely.
Numbers. So, but no, this is a really cool board. Like it's very small. You know, uh, we've been wanting to tackle the 40s just to try it, just to give it a shot, give it the honest college try.
The Dimple, such a cool name. It's a cute name for a cute little board.
Absolutely.
Yeah, looks good. Uh, this next one is an so this is Trey Pop's first custom keyboard design. The PC based himself. Timu Sky Switch, and he does not have a 6.25. This is like the ultimate DIY. It's like,
I love it. You know why I love it? That enter key.
dude, BAE.
That fucking enter key, man. I don't, you know, this is very cool because it's very DIY. But what sells it, what brings this board home is that fucking enter.
Dude, for sure. Yeah. I mean, this is really cool. This is really different and really cool. So props to you. Hope you enjoy it and good luck on finding your 6.25 space bar that matches what you've got going on there. Although you do have like two different keycaps that's happening, but you know what?
Hey, looks great. Um, Next up, pretty plain simple Tokyo 60 EPBT 9009 with some NK creams. Oof.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah,
I
hell yeah.
mean,
This is solid board. I think this is the ink colorway. So it's just a solid looking board all around.
yeah. I mean, those Tokyo 60s were awesome, especially when they came out. Like, they're still pretty good now. Like, they were great when they first came out, and they're still pretty solid. It's a great value purchase.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, the Prime Elise with Kiwis. 205 grade 0 GPL 105 on 65 gram springs, TX films with GMK Hiragana. That's clean.
Dude, GMK Hiragana looks so sick. The like, I'm neither of us are big fans of sub legends, but I'm a big fan of like the mono legends. Like, it looks so cool. Like, this looks awesome.
Yeah, this is clean as fuck. And of course, Jay Picture takes great pictures of his boards. But yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, you and I both love Masterpiece because we don't like sub legends because it's too crowding on the keycaps. But when it's a mono legend, it looks clean.
Yeah, looks super. Next up,
So
we've got Keeb Noobs Liminal PSA Astrolokeys set we were talking about earlier today. Pink case from P3D Xylence. A couple artisans from Systematic. Yeah, it looks like it's on top of her brand new computer she built on stream a couple days ago. This looks
yeah,
great.
follow Keeb Noob if you have not followed Keeb Noob.
Absolutely. Yeah, this looks great. Astrolokeys looks so cute. It's such a cute set.
This is an adorable board. I love the Cheshire cats. I think those are fantastic, fantastically done. This is just a cool board. It's an eye catcher, right? You bring that to work with you one day, and people are talking to you all. So if you're an introverted person that doesn't like talking to people, don't bring this board.
Whose mine is? Or Chewy's girl, Eric. Okay. I had to change some settings. Is it cutting out?
Which is weird because I can hear you just fine.
Well, it's because of the noise gate on OBS.
Noted. Um, well, the next up is a familiar board, a board that we are all familiar with, especially the two of us. This is the Sirius with Tangerines and Crimson Cadet. I don't think there's a set Sirius has. I don't think there's a set that Sirius looks bad that looks bad on the Sirius. because it's that off white, but because it's not metal,
Yeah.
it doesn't it doesn't have any of that shine, which can fuck up the way a keycap set looks on a board.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good with like everything. This looks really great because it just kind of like the white just kind of like puts a nice border around the set, but it's also like not too overly aggressive. Like in person, it's not even going to be as bright as this.
Yeah, no, it's
Um,
definitely not.
because it's not like Chewy said, it's not shiny. It's like a more because it is palm, and it is somewhat you can kind of like see through it a little bit. It kind of changes it. It looks really good, and it really lets the keycap set shine. And Crimson Cadet does look really good here. It looks good.
Yeah, absolutely. What do we got up next?
Ooh, which one do you want to do of these, Chewy?
Let's do the bottom one. I like the way muted looks on the bottom one.
What is this?
They're unicorns.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
I
Okay,
just
so it's
assumed
two.
with the unicorn emojis that they are dual unicorns because I've seen the back side of this picture. He's posted it a few times. I think on Reddit, where the backside, or maybe it was Instagram, where I saw like he did the flip of it. So, so the TGR seeing a unicorn. No idea what switches, but GMK muted on the bottom, GMK white on black on top.
Yeah, this looks great. These are two boards that a lot of people would really, really want and would pay lots and lots of money on. Yeah, these look great. You're using split backspace on both, so props to you. Um, yeah, I know Chewy's going to be excited about that Jeep cap
Got to, man.
for the
the
caps
Jeep
lock.
purse. The Jeep purse doesn't get any better throwing your purse in the back of a Jeep. Um, and then last but not least, we have a very cool, very unique in the fact that there are definitely not that many of these. This is the Bento macro pad with NK silk yellows and 3D printed Fall Guys keycaps. This is cool.
Dude, this looks so cool. Also, the keyboard that's behind it also looks good with Milkshake as well. Um, but yeah, dude, this is so cute. That's so cute, and it like perfectly matches Milkshake. Um, that's awesome. I've
That's
never
that's
seen that before. That's so awesome.
that's dope. Um, yeah. So that's it. What are you what are you thinking?
Um, I think I'm gonna go the homie pick, and I'm gonna take the orange 75.
All right. Well, I want to pick the Key 65 based on the picture alone. I think I'm gonna go with the gin. I love the knobs. The gin just looks dope.
Dude, you're taking it to Knobville.
Dude, Knobville times 2. That's twice the Knobville. So let me get this poll set up for keyboard of the week.
Absolutely. So the two options to be the server banner, to be posted on our Instagram, to be in the background of the stream for the next week will be the Jin with MT3 Susuwardi Crystal Navies as the switches, or this beautiful Cerakoted Orange 75 with H1s with MT3 Godspeed. Very interesting that we both chose boards that have MT3 when we both do not like MT3 whatsoever.
Sorry, I had to look up how to spell Susuwatari.
Susuwatardi. That
Susuwatari.
MT3, it took forever. That's what they should change the name to.
MT3, how many times did you have to revise these caps?
But yeah, so
So,
that poll will
all right,
be happening here soon.
there it is. It is at the top of chat. If you are on your phone, it'll be at the top of chat. If you are watching our stream, it'll be at the top of chat over by Osiris, I believe. If my memory serves, unless you've somehow adjusted. But anyway, look at the top of chat, vote. So definitely some great entries, guys. Great entries. Shout out to still shout out to Dwayne for the dope macro pad. Um, I think that macro pad's fucking sick. And then also shout out to Brian for an amazing picture.
Yeah, dude, Brian, that picture of the freaking where did it go? Uh,
It's still up there. It's towards the. It's under. It's 3 under the orange.
dude, that Key 65 picture was so hot. Steve Madden 17, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Dude, can we get some shoes?
Yeah, man.
Do they make men's shoes, don't they?
Yeah, yeah. I used to have some.
I want some
Um,
shoes.
I mean,
I
I'm
don't need
okay.
them, but
I'm okay. I've got my dress shoes.
dude, I
I
have a
wear.
pair of dress shoes that I haven't even opened yet.
I have one pair. I have my pair of dress shoes. It's like I got married in them. I go to weddings and funerals in them. I go to job interviews in them. I have my. Well, I guess I have two, but one's like a chukka boot type thing. It's like a mix between chukkas and whatever, and they're like ripped in half, so they lasted a whopping like 5 wears. But I got them for dirt cheap. But yeah, I do like the knobs, man. Though, like
Dude,
these are just what I love seeing is really cool boards and seeing what you can do with cool boards.
yeah, and that's like something that I kind of wanted to touch on when we were talking about beginner stuff the other day on Clack Fancy, but I just didn't have the chance to. Is like how many options there are for people in like the stacked acrylic game or like the 3D printed game. Like there's just so much stuff happening in like this segment of the community that doesn't get as much notoriety as it deserves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. It's there are people doing stuff right now that are pushing the community further than a lot of other people that are not getting the recognition that they deserve because they're doing some awesome stuff. And that's not to say that the people that are doing stuff are not also doing amazing things, but there are a lot of people in this hobby that are doing things in the background that just aren't seen that much. And because they are not seen that much, it slowly turns into um, just kind of like, and sudden, it's kind of like what I said at the beginning of the stream. It's like everything's different, or everything stays the same. And then one day everything's different. It's like it's because someone worked their ass off trying to put a bunch of shit in into like software or onto GitHub or something like that.
Yeah. Also, I'll answer this for you, little little Turk. Chewy is all about the Mocha ones.
I do like them. I'm gonna try, but I'm gonna most likely have to take my L because
When is it
they're going
happening?
Saturday.
Oh, what time? But like
9?
morning.
Yeah, morning.
I I'll try for you. We were the same
It'll,
size, so it's pretty easy.
yeah, there you go. I'm looking for someone to raid right now. So Tuesdays we typically raid someone who is not in keyboards. Um, gonna look up Among Us and see.
Here, wait, I might have one.
I have someone. All right, sweet.
Let me see if they're streaming. I have to like go through like 3 different ways to find their can't remember what his Twitch name was.
But guys, so coming up tomorrow at 8 p.m., we'll have Apiary joining us. We're going to talk about Jean Queen Noir as well as just talk with her, catch up with her. We haven't talked to her in a hot minute. So very excited for that 8 p.m. Central Time tomorrow, and then Saturday again at 2 p.m. On launch day. It'll be right after it launches. Hopefully there'll be some available. You'll be able to get you'll be able to watch the Satisfaction 75 build that Osiris will be building with some lilac linears. So, and then quick note, we will not be doing the Tuesday stream next week. Next Tuesday is election Tuesday, and there's a lot of things going on, so we just decided we were not going to stream that day, so we'll be back on the following Wednesday. So and it looks like keyboard of the week, 15 votes to 4. The Gen MT3 Susawardi wins.
Oof. Boom, that's your winner.
I'll take the victory, man. It's a cool board. So props to Zark. Well done. I'm gonna PM you literally right now and ask if I can post this on Instagram. So congratulations to Zark. And do we have a Raidee?
Um, so he is not streaming right now, I don't believe, but I'm looking for someone else.
So
Um,
typically, gnarly Charlie, for you, we usually will raid people that are not doing keyboards. We're trying to kind of expand our reach, son. Um, so let's see who's Lipster09.
here I got we can do, or you can do Lipstro 9 if you like.
If you've got one, we'll do yours. If not, we can hit up Mr. Lipster09. He's playing Minecraft right now.
I've got someone I want to do who's kind of like they've kind of dabbled into the community. He's a Overwatch League caster. Very, very fun guy, very fun personality. His name is Uber Shouts. I'm closing some things up here, get it set up. He likes to play obviously Overwatch. He plays Magic. He has a pretty cool little board that he uses. Um, can't remember exactly what it is. I think he uses a Filco. Um,
Nice.
so he's currently doing like a VOD review of the championships, but he's a fun guy. He's a fun guy.
So we're gonna hit him with that. Show us your Keeb while Osiris gets that raid ready. And guys, once again, tomorrow 8 p.m. with Apiary. Thank you all for showing up today. Welcome back, Osiris, to the weekday streams, and a big shout out to DDD Klein also again for hopping in last week.
absolutely.
And anything else?
No, I think that's it. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 and then Saturday at 2.
Hell yeah, dude. Bye, Switch Tester.